Hola and welcome to today's ProSpanish video. We're going to dive straight in. I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised by how much you learned today and the way in which you learn it. Viewers with more advanced Spanish may wish to skip forward to the time frame that comes up on the screen now. So let's go straight to the language that we're working with today. If you're a complete beginner, that's absolutely fine. Just follow my instructions and don't try to memorize everything. Okay, so we'll start off with a few verb phrases. I'm teaching a reduced amount of language in today's lesson because our main focus is going to be on the fluency activity. But even so, I think you'll still be surprised at just how much useful language you'll be able to use by the end of the lesson. Okay, so llamar a Pablo. Llamar a Pablo, to call Pablo. Llamar a Pablo, to call Pablo. Llamar is to call. To pick up Ana, recoger a Ana. Recoger a Ana. To pick up, recoger is to pick up. Recoger a Ana, to pick up Ana. And you'll notice that after llamar, there is a, the letter A, and after recoger, there's also a. And that's just because in Spanish, if there's a name, if there's a person after a verb, after a to-do word like to call, to pick up, to see, then they have the letter A. So they say to call to Pablo, to pick up to Ana. If it was to see, which is ver, to see Ana, ver a Ana. To see Pablo, ver a Pablo. So to see to Pablo is how it works. Okay, so llamar a Pablo and recoger a Ana. And remember, this is just the presentation stage. Don't worry about trying to memorize it. Next we have pagar la cuenta, to pay the bill. Pagar is to pay, la cuenta, the bill. Pagar la cuenta, to pay the bill. Cambiar las sábanas, to change the sheets. So cambiar, to change. Cambiar las sábanas, to change the sheets. How about if we were going to say, let's go back to pagar la cuenta, to pay the bill. How about if we were going to pay Pablo? How would you say to pay Pablo? Pagar a Pablo. So remember what I said earlier, that we have the verb pagar, to pay, and if it's a person after it, obviously the bill, la cuenta, isn't, well, I guess if it was bill with a capital B, then it would be a person, but in this case it's the bill. So to pay the bill, there's no person there, so there's no letter A, there's no a. But when it's Pablo, it's pagar a Pablo, to pay Pablo. And how about if we wanted to change Ana? To change Ana, what would that be? Cambiar a Ana. Cambiar a Ana. So you can't change Ana. No puedes cambiar a Ana, for example. Okay, let's go to the first column now. It's time to. It's time to. Es hora de. So hora is like hour, the hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. So it's the hour to. It's time to. Es hora de. It's the hour of something. Next we have don't forget. Don't forget is no olvides. No olvides. It's a really useful phrase. No olvides, don't forget to do whatever. Next we have sería una buena idea. Sería una buena idea. So you've got sería, it would be. A good idea, una buena idea. And finally, it's your turn. Te toca. Te toca. A really nice little phrase. Te toca. It's your turn. It literally means it touches you. Toca is from tocar, to touch. Te toca, it touches you. Not in the literal sense, but it means here it's your turn. Te toca. Okay, now look at our table and just listen to my phrases and try to work out what's being said by following across. Es hora de recoger a Ana. Es hora de recoger a Ana. And that means it's time to pick up Anna. Es hora de recoger a Ana. How about te toca cambiar las sábanas? Te toca cambiar las sábanas. It's your turn to change the sheets. How about no olvides llamar a Pablo. No olvides llamar a Pablo. Don't forget to call Pablo. How about sería una buena idea pagar la cuenta. Sería una buena idea pagar la cuenta. It would be a good idea to pay the bill. How about es hora de cambiar las sábanas. Es hora de cambiar las sábanas. It's time to change the sheets. Okay, so very straightforward. And you can see already how versatile and useful these phrases are going to be to you. Okay, so we're going to flip it around the other way now, and we're going to move on to our fluency activity. And in fact, we could say, using the language that we've just learnt, es hora de practicar. Es hora de practicar. What do you think that means? It's time to practice. We'll just take a quick pause there while I mention our very popular Levels 1 to 6 course. This takes the complete beginner or near beginner right up to a conversational level of Spanish in a series of very easy to follow steps. So any of my videos that can be found on YouTube are supplementary or standalone videos, whereas the main Levels 1 to 6 course is not available anywhere else. It's not available on YouTube, and this is very much a step-by-step program, all still delivered by the same teacher, by myself. And while the style is very similar to what you've been used to from the videos on this channel, the key difference is that every lesson builds carefully on the previous lessons so that you can feel the progress of going from very little or no Spanish up to a level where you can confidently hold a conversation in Spanish. And to get you to conversational fluency even quicker than before, I've added a unique innovation to the site. With this boost system, you can go back over the lesson content, you can check the key structures you've learned, practice listening, test your pronunciation, and massively speed up your fluency.
Quiero hacerlo hoy.
That's available exclusively from prospanish.co.uk. And back to our lesson. Okay, so welcome to ProSpanish Battleship Fluency. And you can access this completely free on the website. Just go to the right hand menu, go down to the bottom and look for Battleship Fluency. Okay, let me quickly run through the aim and the objective of this. So we've got all these battleships here. Now there are 4 targets which we have to hit, and the way we identify a square, a target that we want to hit, is by using these coordinates. So if I want to hit this one here, I have to say sería una buena idea, so that would take me along. And then to intersect with here, we'd say recoger a Ana. So we need to say that in a fluent sentence. Sería una buena idea recoger a Ana. And that identifies that square as a coordinate that we want to hit. We can toggle the language off. So that's what we'll do later, is we'll take the Spanish off so that we have to try to really focus on getting the Spanish. And we need to hold down the speak button or the space bar, which I prefer to use, and then release it when we've finished speaking for the speech recognition. Okay, so let's press start. We've got some nice battleship background noise. And I'm going to start off with, let's start off trying to get this square here. So we need to say, don't forget to pick up Ana. So what would that be in Spanish? Don't forget to pick up Ana. No olvides recoger a Ana. No olvides recoger a Ana. So I'm going to say that now. No olvides recoger a Ana. Okay, so that was a big miss. How would you say it's your turn to pay the bill? What would that be? Try and work out it's your turn to pay the bill. And pause the video to give yourself some thinking time if you need that. It's your turn to pay the bill. Well, it would be te toca pagar la cuenta. Te toca pagar la cuenta. So, I'm going to use the space bar now. Te toca pagar la cuenta. And that is a miss as well. Let's try another one. How would you say it's time to change the sheets? What would that be? Es hora de cambiar las sábanas. Es hora de cambiar las sábanas. So I'm going to try that. Es hora de cambiar las sábanas. Okay, so that coordinate, that was a hit. So I need 3 more. Now, if I've forgotten the pronunciation, so I keep saying it. So let's give you an example. So this is where it says what it's recognized from your attempt. Es hora de cambiar las sábanas. That's what I said. Let's try something perhaps with perhaps not so great pronunciation and see what happens. So let's say we want to say it's time to call Pablo. It's time to call Pablo. So we'll have es hora de llamar a Pablo. And it's got here, hey, hola, te llamaba Poblet. Okay, so it doesn't recognize it at all. So we can click on the square.
Es hora de.
Es hora de. So we can hear it.
Es hora de.
Es hora de. And here.
Llamar a Pablo.
That's like echo there. Let's try again.
Llamar a Pablo.
Llamar a Pablo. Es hora de llamar a Pablo. And we can try again. So I'm going to hold down the space bar. Es hora de llamar a Pablo. Oh, and it was a hit. So and it says up here the correct phrase that we said. Es hora de llamar a Pablo. Okay, so we need 2 more. So how would you say it would be a good idea to pay the bill? What would that be? It would be a good idea to pay the bill. And again, pause the video to give yourself some thinking time if you need it. Sería una buena idea pagar la cuenta. Sería una buena idea pagar la cuenta. Let's try that. Sería una buena idea pagar la cuenta. Okay. Right, so I'm going to go through these next ones a little bit faster because then we're going to take off the Spanish and see how we go with that. Okay, so how would you say now, it's time to pay the bill? It's time to pay the bill. Es hora de pagar la cuenta. Miss, how would you say, it's your turn to call Pablo? Te toca llamar a Pablo. Not much luck here. How about, don't forget to change the sheets? What would that be? No olvides cambiar las sábanas. Okay, how about, don't forget to pick up Anna? Okay, well we've got that one, don't forget to pick up Anna. How about, it's time to pick up Anna? Es hora de recoger a Ana. Okay, and I could tell as I was saying that, my tongue got a bit twisted and it didn't come out right, and it said, es hora de recoger a... It went a bit funny. So, let's try again. Es hora de recoger a Ana. Okay, got it hit. Okay, so we need one more. How would we say, don't forget to call Pablo? No olvides llamar a Pablo. No. How about, it would be a good idea to call Pablo? What would that be? Sería una buena idea recoger a Pablo. Okay, and none of those coordinates are there, so obviously wasn't looking at it properly. Sería una buena idea llamar a Pablo. Okay, and I finally did it. Okay, so let's start again, and we're going to take off the Spanish now, making it much harder, but let's go through and give it a go. Okay, so, okay, how would you say, it's time to pay the bill? What would that be? It's time to pay the bill. Es hora de pagar la cuenta. Okay, so as it says at the top there, es hora de pagar la cuenta. And again, if you're not sure how to say something, just click on the square.
Te toca.
Te toca.
Cambiar las sábanas.
Cambiar las sábanas. Okay, let's, how would you say, don't forget to pick up Anna? What would that be? Don't forget to pick up Anna. No olvides recoger a Ana. No olvides recoger a Ana. Okay, how would you say, it's your turn to change the sheets? Te toca cambiar las sábanas. Okay, how about, it's time to change the sheets? What would that be? It's time to change the sheets. Es hora de cambiar las sábanas. How would you say, it would be a good idea to call Pablo? Sería una buena idea llamar a Pablo. Okay, another miss. We'll continue with a few more of these, but you can see also how we could change around this vocabulary and expand out what we're able to say, and we can do that quite quickly. So let's say to invite is invitar, invitar. So if we wanted to say, don't forget to invite Pablo, it would just be no olvides.
No olvides.
No olvides invitar a Pablo. Like llamar a Pablo, to call Pablo, to invite Pablo, invitar a Pablo. Or it's your turn to invite Pablo. Te toca invitar a Pablo. Okay, so let's try and win this game. How would you say it's time to call Pablo? Es hora de llamar a Pablo. How about it's your turn to pay the bill? What would that be? It's your turn to pay the bill. Te toca pagar la cuenta. No? How about don't forget to pay the bill? What would that be? No olvides pagar la cuenta. No. How about it's time to pick up Anna? What would that be? Es hora de recoger a Ana. Okay, so 2 more to go. How about don't forget to change the sheets? What would that be? No olvides cambiar las sábanas. Okay, I'm doing well here. How would you say don't forget to call Pablo? No olvides llamar a Pablo. How would we say it's your turn to call Pablo? Te toca llamar a Pablo. How about it's your turn to pick up Anna? Te toca recoger a Ana. How about it would be a good idea to pay the bill? What would that be? Sería una buena idea. And I was in between saying recoger and pagar, so I'll start that again. Sería una buena idea pagar la cuenta. Okay, not too many options left. How would you say it would be a good idea to change the sheets? Sería una buena idea cambiar las sábanas. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you can access this free on the site. I'll just keep it up there for a week or two so you can practice this. And just before we move on to the more advanced part of this lesson, another reminder that you can access the levels 1 to 6 course, the core ProSpanish course, exclusively at prospanish.co.uk. Okay, let's move on to the more advanced part of this lesson. So we're going to change to Battleship 2 and I'll explain it from there. So, background noise and all. Okay, we're keeping some of the language, well a lot of it, but we're mainly changing this column here, the starting part. So we're going to have I want that, quiero que, and you'll see in a minute that we wouldn't normally say in English quiero que, but I'm giving you the translation of the structure so that it's easier to remember. So quiero que, I want that. Prefiero que, I prefer that. Espero que, I hope that. And insisto en que. Insisto en que, I insist that. And you'll have noticed that I whizzed through fairly fast and I said espero que, I hope that. Now, of course, espero is I hope, but it's also I expect. And we'll use it in that context today, although I hope would also work. You'll see why in a second. So, insisto en que, I insist that, or I insist on that. And then we have the second part of the phrase. So, you call Pablo, llames a Pablo. And you'll notice here that normally, what we call the indicative present, the kind of normal present tense, would be llamas, llamas. But after all of these here, quiero que, prefiero que, espero que, insisto en que, we need the subjunctive. So all of these are going to be subjunctive going across. So instead of llamas, it's llames a Pablo. You pick up Ana. Instead of recoges, recojas, ending in as. You notice that the ending is just the opposite of what it would normally be. So if we're going between es and as, if it's normally es, it will be as. So you pay the bill, pagues la cuenta. And we need the U in there to stop it from being pajes, because if there's an E or an I after a G, it's pronounced as G rather than G. So the U there is to keep it hard. So pagues, you pay the bill, pagues la cuenta. Cambies las sábanas, you change the sheets. Now the structure in Spanish is, I want that you call Pablo. I want that you pick up Ana. But of course we would say, I want you to call Pablo. I want you to pay the bill. Okay, so let's have a little practice. What I'll do is I'll just toggle off the Spanish and you listen to the phrase and work out what's being said, just using the guidance here. Prefiero que pagues la cuenta. Prefiero que pagues la cuenta. I prefer you to pay the bill. How about insisto en que cambies las sábanas. Insisto en que cambies las sábanas. What does that mean? I insist you change the sheets. How about espero que llames a Pablo. Espero que llames a Pablo. I expect you to call Pablo. How about quiero que recojas a Ana. Quiero que recojas a Ana. What does that mean? I want you to pick up Ana. I want to pick Anna up. Okay, well let's give the game a go. So to start with, I'll toggle back on the Spanish. And how would you say, I want you to pay the bill? What would that be? I want you to pay the bill. Quiero que pagues la cuenta. Okay, first time. How would you say, I expect you to change the sheets? Espero que cambies las sábanas. How would you say, I insist that you pick up Anna? Insisto en que recojas a Ana. Okay, so I think I might have pressed the space bar for the speech recognition a bit early. Let's see what it caught. So it just got there, insisto, so it didn't recognize those coordinates. Let's try again. Insisto en que recojas a Ana. How would you say, I expect you to call Pablo? Espero que llames a Pablo. How would you say, I prefer you to pick up Anna? What would that be? Prefiero que recojas a Ana. Right? How would you say, I want you to change the sheets? Quiero que cambies las sábanas. Hit that. How would you say, I insist that you change the sheets? Insisto en que cambies las sábanas. How would you say, I want you to pick up Anna? Quiero que recojas a Ana. How about, I prefer you to pay the bill. Prefiero que pagues la cuenta. How would you say, I prefer you to change the sheets. Prefiero que cambies las sábanas. Let's try that again. Prefiero que cambies las sábanas. How would you say, I want you to call Pablo? Quiero que llames a Pablo. And how would you say, I expect you to pay the bill? Espero que pagues la cuenta. Let's try that again. Espero que pagues la cuenta. How would you say, I insist that you call Pablo? Or I insist you call Pablo. Insisto en que llames a Pablo. And how would you say, I insist that you pay the bill? Insisto en que pagues la cuenta. Right, we're down to the last two again. How would you say, I prefer you to call Pablo? Prefiero que llames a Pablo. Rather bad luck that we've come down to the very last one. So, how would you say, I expect you to pick up Anna? Espero que recojas a Ana. Surprise? And that concludes today's video. As mentioned earlier, you can access this on the ProSpanish website for the next couple of weeks. Also, if you're looking to become a confident and a competent speaker of Spanish, then head over to prospanish.co.uk where you can download the full Levels 1 to 6 course.